I'm Ronnie from Ronnie's Garage in Southern California. Welcome to our first hands-on, without touching, Zoom technical meet. For those of you who do not live in the area and come to the regular meetings, we do this usually once a month, typically the first Saturday of each month. And we usually have about 20 people here, a lot of donuts and coffee, a lot of socializing, a lot of fun. And what we're going to do today, instead of being super vehicle specific, we're going to be talking about basic electrical concepts and testing. What the plan is I'm going to show you the basics of electrical, how it works, how to test it, and then also we're going to go from starting with a Mark 6, we're going to go through the series of different changes in the fuse boxes so that you'll be able to get into your own fuse box and perhaps use some of these newfound skills. This is a battery. This is I don't even know what kind of cell they are anymore, but there are 6 individual cells in here. This is the 12-volt battery. Typically on this type of battery, each cell will put out 2.1 volts. Okay, so if you put 6 of them together, a fully charged battery should have 12.6 volts, or real close to that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put a voltmeter. This is there are two ways of going here. I'm a professional, and I've been doing this many years. I have an expensive fluke meter, which is not necessary to do basic electrical. This right here is where did you buy this, Steve?
Harbor Freight on a free coupon.
You got it free. So there you go, folks. You can almost do it for free.
This is a battery. We have the digital voltmeter. We've hooked it up. And one thing on a digital voltmeter, just so you know where the leads go, this has a few holes, this has a few holes. Your red typically always goes to the positive. Okay, the common is typically the negative. All right, and we've got over here, we got volt, ohm, diode. This is a complex meter. Here we have A and A. A stands for amps, and MA stands for milliamps, and it actually has picoamps there too, I think. So that is, or microamps. That is to check current. We're going to check voltage. So we'll put that on the red, this on the black. We have hooked up the leads with proper polarity, negative to negative, black to negative, and red to positive. We have 11.68 volts in this battery. Now on the freebie Centec multimeter, let's figure this one out. We get the leads. Okay, so we're going to have the COM. Remember I had COM? Mine was labeled black. This has a COM here. That would be your negative on this, unless it's a positive ground color. And then we've got the V, that little symbol that looks like an alien. That's ohms. And then we've got actual milliamps. It reads on this too. So we got to go to the, and then the upper plug is amps. So we'll see how this one reads. We'll turn this to the proper scale. This is your indicator. We're going to go to DC voltage. This, you have to pick a scale. So if you want to read over 200 volts, you have to go to the 1000. If you want to read over 20 volts, you got to go to the 200. If you want to read over 2000 millivolts, which is 2 volts, you got to go to the 20. That's the one we want because we're going to read a 12-volt battery. And you got to turn it on. There we go. So we got 0 until I hook up the 2 leads, red to red, this to black, and we have got 11.56. So there is a disparity on the accuracy. It's about 1/10 of a volt. It's not a big deal. For most purposes of diagnosis on the car, that's not a big deal, okay? So that's how you check up a voltmeter. So if you want to check your battery, let's say your car doesn't crank very well. First thing you want to do is you go to the battery and check the voltage. Okay, if it's 11.68, it might crank the car okay. Depends on how much amps are left in it. But if it's low, then you obviously need to charge the battery. There are many kinds of chargers you can buy right now. If you use one of those trickle chargers, remember that it's called a trickle charger for a reason. It only puts a little bit in at a time. Most of them nowadays are made to maintain battery voltage when the car is not in use. So let's say your battery's down to 4 or 5 volts. You're going to have to hook up your trickle charger probably for a couple of days before it's going to bring it up to full voltage, because a battery is kind of like a dam full of water. It's got, a dam will have a lot of pressure bottom, and that's the voltage. Voltage is the pressure on an electrical system. So you want to get up to full voltage before you try to go much further on trying to start your car. Now, amperage, just so you understand, is the voltage is the pressure, how much push it has. Amperage is how much it can flow. So if you put it in like a water system, the main pipes feeding everybody, you know, the streets and all the meters and all that are big, okay? So that they can allow a lot of flow. That would be amperage in electricity, a lot of flow, big wires. So the small, if you notice that the battery cable wires are the biggest ones on the car, because they have to feed the whole car. Now, when you get down to smaller items and smaller electrical things like a light bulb or whatever, the wires get smaller so that they will only carry a certain amount of amps. So it's restricting it. It's like your sprinkler system on your home. The pipes get smaller and smaller until they come to the outlet, and that's even another restriction. The big difference between water systems and electrical systems is that on water systems, if you open a valve, it's going to flow. On electrical systems, nothing's going to flow until you have a complete circuit. So put your head around that. You look at this light bulb, you see 2 wires hanging loose. Now, if this were a water system, it'd be leaking water out. But right now, it's not losing voltage because nothing is connected, right? It's connected to these meters, but that's a little bit different. So once you do that, now the electrons are flowing. So now we can see how much current is going through that by using our DVOM. And what we'll do is we'll switch the settings. You will have to, on this meter, I have to go to amps with the red lead, COM, and see this one is smart. It's telling me you're on the wrong setting here, so don't connect the wires. You're going to blow a fuse. So we will go to amps. Okay, so now we're on amps. So what I'll do here is I will connect this to the positive. You always want the positive, go to the positive side of the system, all right? And now what I'll do is I'll connect this to this, and the light bulb lights up. Look at that, right? So electrons are moving, okay? Unlike the hydraulic, the water system, which it'll just leak if it's open. This one stops leaking once the circuit is broken. Okay, so on the, what we've got is what's the scale there? 1600 amps. That's a bright bulb. Okay, and that's why. Let's say you've got some lights not working in your car. What we're going to do is we're going to put a fuse in line. So we'll take this fuse, and then we will hook it to there, and then the light should light up. Oops. Okay. So there's a system with a fuse in it. So you think about all these electrons, they all got to work because they're all connected. So on your car, let's just say we have, this is a fuse in your fuse box. This is the circuit that is not working. This is your battery. This is a test light. You can make one out of just 2 wires to a bulb. This is a cool test light. I like this one as a professional one because it will show you voltage. It reads out voltage. You see how it lights up? That's why it's called a test light. Okay, see the voltage on there? It shows 10.9 now. It's dropping. So what we can do is we can go to the next point in the system. So I'm hooked my test light to the negative side. So I'm looking for positive juice now. So I want to go, okay, do I have juice to this point? Yes, I do. Okay, so this circuit is part of the circuit's good. Do I have it to here? Yes, I do. That means the bulb is good. let's go over here. Where's the, So what we're going to do now, since I put the fuse in the ground side, we'll switch the leads. So just so you know, you can check for voltage or ground with the same test light. You just change the connection. So if you're checking for voltage, you put this lead on the ground side and check for voltage at the positive side. If you check for ground, then you put this lead to the positive side and go to your ground. Now on a car, on most cars that are, all cars that are negative ground, you can do this and you can just go right to the body and it should light up. And we can do that when we get to the car part. So we know that this is good. So do we have a good connection here? This could be a splice in the system. Yes, that means this connection's good because we're on this side. If we go to this side, we obviously know that's good. But this is good to there. And we lost it there. So my test, oh, there we go. I got a test lead. Let's change test leads. See, this is like on your car, this would be part of the wiring circuit that's not good. So once you isolate the section that is not working, then you will be able to fix it, hopefully. So, okay, so I have a bad test lead. Okay, you see the circuit's working. So we can go all the way back. So this is going to be grounded. This is going to be grounded. So it's all good on there. So that's where your DVOM comes in for the next step. Okay, so we've covered voltage. We've covered test light operation. We've covered current. That's what this is showing. The bulb is, that's the current going through. So now we can go to the next step and we're going to check a circuit for continuity.